What if Padme Amidala survived? In the canon timeline, Padme dies shortly after giving birth. Not from wounds, not from poison, but because she loses the will to live. Her death becomes the final push that locks Anakin Skywalker into the identity of Darth Vader. But what if that never happened? What if Padme lived? The events of Mustafar still unfold. Anakin still falls. Obi-Wan still leaves him burning on a volcanic shore. The Republic still collapses. The Empire still rises. But Padme doesn't fade away. She survives childbirth, weak but alive, holding Luke and Leia in her arms as the galaxy around her burns. And from that moment forward, everything changes. Padme Amidala wakes up knowing two truths at once. Anakin is gone, and her children are alive. She doesn't know whether Anakin is truly dead or something worse, but she feels it in the Force, something broken, something distant, something dark. Grief consumes her, but it does not destroy her. Padme has faced loss before. She has faced tyrants before, and she has never surrendered to them. Bail Organa and Obi-Wan urge her to disappear, to let the twins be hidden for their own safety. Padme agrees, but not completely. Luke and Leia are separated, just as in canon, but Padme does not vanish into history. Publicly, she steps away from the Senate under the guise of illness and mourning. Privately, she begins to watch the Empire from the shadows. Padme was one of the few people who truly understood Palpatine before he revealed himself. She had opposed his emergency powers. She had questioned his authority when others applauded it. Now, with the Jedi gone and the Senate reduced to a tool, Padme sees clearly what the galaxy is becoming, and she refuses to let it happen quietly. Years pass. The Empire tightens its grip. Clone troopers are replaced. Fear replaces hope. But rebellion begins to stir, not through blasters, but through whispers, funding, and information. Padme becomes the silent architect behind what will one day become the Rebel Alliance. Bail Organa provides legitimacy. Mon Mothma provides strategy. But Padme provides something else entirely. Moral clarity. She reminds the galaxy what democracy looked like, what felt like. She speaks in secret meetings, not as a revolutionary, but as a former queen and senator who watched freedom die firsthand. Meanwhile, Anakin Skywalker lives on as Darth Vader. But something is different. Padme's survival creates a wound in the dark side Palpatine did not expect. Vader believes Padme is dead. He feels her absence like an open scar. But the Force is quiet, too quiet. There is no finality, no closure, and that uncertainty haunts him. The rage that fuels Vader is less focused, less stable. Palpatine notices. He tightens his control, keeping Vader close, feeding him lies about the Jedi, about betrayal, about destiny. But something in Vader resists fully giving in, not out of goodness, but out of unresolved grief. Padme watches from afar. She knows better than anyone that Anakin was manipulated. She does not excuse his crimes, but she understands how he was broken. And deep down, she believes something impossible, that he might still be saved. Luke grows up on Tatooine as planned. Leia grows up on Alderaan, but with one difference. Padme visits, not openly, not often, but enough. Leia grows up knowing her mother not as a myth, but as a presence. She learns politics from Padme, compassion, strength. When Leia eventually enters the Imperial Senate, she is not just following Bail Organa's footsteps. She's continuing her mother's unfinished war. Padme never tells her children the full truth about their father. Not yet. As the Rebel Alliance begins to take shape, Padme becomes its heart. Where others plan battles, she plans futures. She insists the rebellion must be more than resistance. It must be a replacement for what was lost. No endless war, no revenge, no empire in a different uniform. And then, Vader begins to sense them. Not clearly, not consciously, but through the Force, something familiar brushes against his awareness. A presence that feels like hope and pain intertwined. Padme. Their paths never cross openly, but they influence each other across the galaxy. Vader becomes more ruthless, but also more conflicted. Padme becomes more determined, but more cautious. The Death Star changes everything. When Alderaan is destroyed, Padme does not break. She hardens. The loss of Bail Organa, of Leia's homeworld, of billions of lives confirms what Padme always feared. The Empire cannot be reasoned with. It must be ended. From this point forward, Padme is no longer just a political figure. She becomes a revolutionary. Luke eventually learns the truth, not from Obi-Wan, but from Padme herself. She tells him about Anakin, the good, the brave, the loving man he once was. And she tells him what he became. Luke doesn't recoil. He understands. Because Padme teaches him something Obi-Wan never could. That love is not weakness, and hope is not naive. When Luke eventually faces Vader, he does so carrying not just the teachings of the Jedi, but the faith of his mother. And that faith matters. Because in this timeline, when Vader finally learns Padme is alive, truly alive, the dark side fractures. Palpatine's greatest lie is exposed. And for the first time since Mustafar, Anakin Skywalker feels something stronger than hate. Regret mixed with hope. Padme surviving doesn't prevent the war, but it changes why it's fought. And when the final confrontation comes, the galaxy is not saved by prophecy alone, but by a woman who refused to let the light die quietly. Padmé Amidala surviving doesn't just change Anakin. It changes the soul of the rebellion.